operating system, like the dining philosopher problem. Okay, which you have to choose and which you have to kept in the table. One you have to choose and one you have to keep it in your table, so that there will not be any deadlock condition. You have to choose in such a way that there will not be any deadlock condition. Okay.
They have read it in operating system.
Already, sir, these things are there. A dining philosopher problem.
Ah.
Four philosophers with four forks are sitting adjacent to each other, and they have only four forks. And how they have to eat in such a way that there will not create any uh, deadlock situation.
Deadlock. They will do, I don't know whether we can be able to do in Petrinet. With the 5 philosopher, we usually ask the assignment to do in the lab, but this time I don't know. With 5 philosopher using Petrinet model, we usually ask in the lab to do. Anyway, we'll see this time. Okay, go ahead.
Now, with the LSTA evaluation, their scope, multiple coordinated visualization of concurrent systems behavior. Then basic types is textual, graphical, and effect. Effect means the visualization effect. Then the depiction, text and state machines for models and various effect visualizations. Then interaction. The finite state process can be edited textually as well as graphically. Then fidelity. The graphical visualizations may elide some information. Consistency. It is limited with limited vocabulary that helps for ensure consistency, since it has some limitation in the vocabulary. Then comprehensibility. The finite state process has some learning curve, and a domain specific effect visualizations are innovative. Then dynamism. Animation on state transition diagrams and domain specific visualizations. Then view coordination. Views are coordinated automatically, just like view and view consistency. View consistency means we are coordinating the points which are consistent. That is the view consistency. We are coordinating the points which are consistent. Otherwise, we cannot coordinate. So here, views are coordinated automatically. Then aesthetics. It has the state transition diagrams that are traditional, domain-specific visualizations that can enhance the aesthetics of the visualization. Then extensibility. New domain-specific effect visualizations as a plugin can be used. As an extended feature, we use the new domain-specific effect visualizations to it. Now the extensible architectural description language. It is coordinated with textual, graphical, as well as the effect visualization for an extensible architectural description language. Then their advantages. It provides an example of how to construct a wide variety of coordinated and interrelated visualization. It provides a typical paradigm to construct a wide variety of coordinated as well as interrelated visualizations. Okay. So it has an example. It will provide an example that has the visualization that are properly coordinated and interrelated. Let users move fluidly from one visualization to another. Here, the users can move very smoothly or fluidly from the one to another. The guidance available for extending visualizations or adding new ones. It has also the features like extending the visualization or adding some new one to it. And what are the disadvantages? Some learning curve to extend the graphical editors. Okay. So it has also the learning curves. Then adding or extending visualization has to be done carefully so they play well with the existing. Okay. Now we will go for a example of it. Okay, a text visualization you can say. Here the types are components and the instance are the descriptions we are using, and the types are interfaces and the instances are description that is used in a extensible architectural description language. What that is? One, na a interface one, IFACE one it is written, and IFACE 2 you can also add as a new feature to the visualization. Means in you have to use a interface for adding the new feature. Now that is given here again. Okay, input as an interface 1 or IFACE 1 that is written here, and their description is it is a interface 1. Means that interface will help to add the feature into the visualization. You will continue this thing in your lab. Now then the screenshot of an Arc Studio even here. Okay, just like Acme Studio and Arc, there is also Arc Studio for the visualization of your architecture. Okay, see it here. And what are the textual editor, the graphical visualizations and their depictions, all you will operate with the Arc Studio. Now here with the Arc Studio, like this you will get. Okay, by taking the inputs, the analyze the toolbox connector with by using the analyzation tool, and no user interface toolbox connector and graphical user interface toolbox connector are used to connect the components. Okay, in the Arc Studio. Okay, first analyze the toolbox connector with the components. What are the components? Like the pruner, version pruner, arc difference, or architecture merge. Okay, so then it will be with the without any interface toolbox connector, then graphical user interface will be connected. Now their scope and their evaluation with again with the 11 parameters. It has scope, the multiple coordinated visualizations of extensible architectural description language models. Okay, multiple coordinations and multiple visualizations in between the coordinations. Coordination and interrelations, what I told in your visualization, with a proper coordination and interrelation between the visualizations. Then their basic type, the textual, graphical, and effect visualization. The description it uses the XML, abbreviated XML, the symbol graphs, and hybrid effect MTAT. Okay. Then interaction. The visualizations emulate the various editing paradigms. Then fidelity. Textual and arc edit are complete. Graphical leave detail arc. Then consistency. Effort to follow conventions. We have to follow the conventional for it. Then comprehensibility. It varies and some are easy from others. Dynamism, animation on state transition diagrams and domain specific visualizations. View coordination, many views coordinated with live MTAT leverages some animation. Then aesthetics. It varies. The archipelago promotes the aesthetic improvements by allowing fine customization. Then extensibility. Many extensibility mechanisms at different levels. Many extensibility are there with different levels. Sir, will you say that the archipelago about that story just in the previous class you have told?
Which one? Which one?
So the aesthetics, it varies with the archipelago that promotes aesthetic through improvements. ମୁଁ ସାର୍ ସେଟା describe କରନ୍ତୁ ଆପଣ ଟିକେ ସବୁ ବେଶୀ ୱାର୍ଡ ନା ଦରକାର ନାହିଁ.
I'll tell like that.
Okay, yes sir. Yes sir.
You cover.
Yes sir. First we have to finish, then if time allow permit us, then we'll cover.
Yeah.
Then constructing the new visualization. Previously we just read about what are the existing ones, like your UML visualization, LTSA visualization, label transition step visualization, then the XADL visualizations, like the extensible architectural description visualizations. These are some existing ones. Now, how we'll go for or proceed for a new visualization? That is the constructing the new visualizations. Developing a new visualization can be expensive both in initial development as well as in the maintenance. If you don't have any idea or any knowledge base, then you have to pay a lot for the development as well as for the maintenance. And you should have the answer before developing such a new visualization. You should have the answer, then only you can proceed. First one, can I achieve my goals by extending an existing visualization? You should have the proper answer. If yes, then you will proceed. Can I translate into another? Sir, some unwanted noises are coming. Sir, some unwanted noise are coming, sir. Yes. Okay. Not sir. Okay. What I meant to say here, you should have the proper answer for these questions before developing any visualization. First one, can I achieve my goals by extending an existing visualization? Can I translate into another notation and use a visualization already available? If these answers are with you, then you have to proceed. How will my visualization augment the existing set of visualization for these rotations? How will my visualization coordinate with the other visualization? Plus all the evaluation categories. Just like we have 11 evaluation categories. If you are properly exploring it or not with your answers, then you can able to construct a new visualization, and also it is more expensive as well as time consuming in development as well as in maintenance. Next, then the guidelines. What the guidelines you should follow if you are proceeding with a new visualization? First guideline, borrow the elements from the similar visualization. If you want to develop or want to construct a new visualization, and you have to find out which is very similar to your visualization. If so, then you have to borrow the elements to develop your visualization. Then leverages existing stakeholder knowledge. You have to improve, you have to develop the existing stakeholder knowledge. Who are the stakeholders of your visualization? They should develop or leverage their knowledge. Improves the comprehensibility. These are the basic guidelines. Then next, be consistent among the visualizations. Don't conflict with existing visualizations. What are the present visualizations that are existing? You never be with confusions with your new development of visualizations. And without a good reason of developing a domain-specific visualization where the concept and metaphors are completely different. You are developing a domain-specific visualization, then their concept and metaphors are different. So you should not have a
Hello, hello,
Hello.
hello.
someone removed me from the meeting.
Sir, your voice is not coming.
Right now it's coming.
Hello. Right now it was
Sir,
coming, but it was
PPT is
not
also
clear,
not
sir.
visible, sir, now.
Yes, sir, PPT is not also. Sir, someone is removing someone like all the friends, sir. Like it was some
That's
all are leaving,
that's why I'm telling.
leaving.
Someone removed. That's why my voice
Yeah,
could not.
sir. One day it was happening with like many of our friends.
Sir, sir is
Sir,
also not there.
Sir
sir,
is not here.
sir, like I want to say one thing, sir. One day there was showing two channel, and one I was using another channel, and one class is doing continue on another channel. So it was like problem for who is doing this. I don't know. Sir.
Sure.
Hello.
Okay, I'm in line. Just wait.
Change the control, sir.
Yes, sir. You can change the settings, sir, and you can give controls to sir. Means sir is having control, I think. So you can take control from him.
There, sir is organizing all the meetings. Okay.
Yes, sir. So
We
you
have
can
to join there.
said to him. You can ask to him.
So actually, sir is facing some power supply issue, and he's the organizer for which we just removed all. And one by one, how many are there? 16. Sir is not there, na? Hello?
Yes, sir. Only sir is not there. Not here.
Sir came right now. Sir is here right now.
Just now. Okay, we are continuing again.
Here, the power
Okay.
went up. Yeah, please start. Yeah. Power
We are talking about the guidelines of the new visualizations. What you have to follow, just like I told right now.
Hello. Hello.
You have. I am not audible.
No, no, sir. Actually, slide is not visible, sir.
I am
Yeah.
not visible.
Now it is okay, sir. Sorry, sir.
This is because of first time it will internet issue. Once it will be started, there will be noise.
Okay, sir. Fine. Sorry, sir.
It takes some time for upload. Na? Okay. Okay. What the guidelines we have to follow? We are talking about that. First, borrow the elements with the similar visualization. You have to find which visualization is very similar to your visualization which you are developing. And You have to borrow the elements from that. Then leverage the existing stakeholder knowledge. Those who are the stakeholder, they are attached to your visualization, their knowledge must be developed or improved, whatever it is. Then improves the comprehensibility of your visualization. Then be consistent among all the visualizations. Don't conflict with existing visualization without a good reason. Example of developing a domain specific visualization where the concepts and metaphors are completely different. So be consistent. Never proceed in such a conflict way or in a which are in a different mode. If the visualization are different, then please don't move in that way. So you have to find which are consistent, then only you proceed. Then give meaning to each visual aspect of elements. Parsimony is more important than aesthetics. Okay, the proper concept, the proper objective is more important than the aesthetics. Only the beauty is not the important always. They are the actual characteristics. The main objective is important. Then the corollary. Here, to avoid the non-explicit meaning that is encoded in visualizations. Now, the guidelines will continue again. The document the meaning of visualizations. You have the document that will properly define the meaning of all the visualizations. The visualizations are rarely self-explanatory. The visualizations are hardly or rarely self-explanatory. It focuses on mapping between the model as well as the visualization. Okay, it focuses of the mapping between model and visualization. Then it balance and traditional innovative interface. The interface in the visualization should be traditional and innovative. The stakeholders bring a lot of interaction experience to the table. But just because a mechanism is popular, it does not mean it is ideal. If a particular mechanism is ideal, then we can't say it is ideal. Then the anti-guidelines, new visualizations, like the same symbol with different meaning. So it is a anti-guideline. Symbols you can check here, the client 1, client 2, client 3. These are some 3 symbols, but they have different meanings. First one is for the data connection, next is for the control connection, another one is the monitoring connection. So it is violating the guidelines of any new visualization. So for this, all the same symbols should have the same meaning for explaining the object. Here you can find all are, one is given with some dotted line, one is with a solid line or with a dash line. So all objects difference are without any meaning. Here also a anti-guideline. Okay, all are giving data connections, but difference are without any meaning. The client 1 is a different, client 2 is a different. So their symbols are not exact. Their symbols are not similar. Although all are providing the data connections, but still it is a anti-guideline. Now, decorations without any meaning. We have given some arrow, we have given the star mark, or their meanings, but their meanings are not defined properly. What they are representing in the symbols. So here they have again the anti-guidelines. There is no such meanings for it. Now, borrowed symbol with different meaning. Okay. Here we have the data store, and data store is the component, client component or business logic are component, but their meanings are here again different. The client is asking to the business logic or requesting to the business logic, where it is not defining the proper meaning. What the business logic is actual, what business logic it is necessary. So it is not defined in the figure. Now, coordinating multiple visualizations. Okay. How do we keep multiple simultaneous visualization of the same architectural model? Okay. How to keep the multiple simultaneous visualization of any particular or similar or same architectural model. It is model that is consistent with each other and the model. This is not the same as maintaining architectural consistency. If something is wrong with the model, this error would be reflected in the visualization. Okay. So the visualizations should have the architectural consistency. Otherwise, the error will be reflected. Means if the error will be reflected in the model, again that will be reflected in the visualization. If any error occurs in the model, then it will be reflected in the visualization. It can be made much easier by making some simplifying assumptions. Only one visualization may operate at a time. Only one tool can operate on the model at a time. So you should have the guidelines to follow. Only one visualization you have to operate in a particular time, and in a particular time you have to operate only one tool for it. But what if we can't simplify like this? If we are not able to simplify like this to our visualization, then it may not be it will be difficult for maintaining the multiple visualizations. Now, the coordination, which is a peer-to-peer coordination of three visualizations. You can say three visualizations communicates with each other for updating their status. Okay, they here the scaling problems work best for visualizations non a priori. So before their visualization, they should have known to each other. Okay, so work best for visualization, a priori visualization. Okay. So here it is a peer-to-peer connection between the visualizations. Now, a master-slave visualization. Only one visualization is the master and others coordinate through it. They will, the visualization 1, that will coordinate the visualization 2 as well as the model repository. Okay. So, it is a master-slave relations. So, one is dominating with others. It works best when visualizations are subordinate. Okay. One is subordinate to another visualization. Example, a thumbnail or an overview next to main, that is zoomed in a visualization. Now, a pool-based visualizations. Okay. So there will be a pools, means a group of visualizations, where a pool of visualizations are there, a n number of visualizations, like visualization 1, 2, 3, 4 up to n, where they will be visualized through a model repository for their changes. It is potentially consistent and staleness problems. Okay, for it. So they will update to each other through the model repository. It may be necessary if model repository is entirely passive. Sometimes this pull request may be necessary if model repository is entirely passive. It may save the computational power also. Now, here again it is push based. The model will push the visualizations. Previous one is the pull based, and here push based. You can check by looking at the arrow marks. Now, here the visualizations actively notified and update themselves whenever model changes for any reason. It is best for multiple simultaneous visualizations. It is hard to debug, means it is difficult to make it error free and must avoid infinite loops. It should have to avoid the loops and subtle concurrency conditions. it will it means there should not be any inconsistency in the concurrency condition. So these are some conditions like in the visualization, peer-to-peer visualizations, coordination, the master slave visualizations coordination, and the pull-based and push-based visualizations. Then the caveats. These are the limitations or restrictions what we should follow. In the modeling, just like in the modeling lecture, this is also optimized for breadth rather than depth. It means following for a wide range of applications rather than deeply going to it. You are encouraged to explore this in depth as well as visualization. You encounter your own experience. Although we can attempt to conceptually separate these modeling notations and visualizations, they are never truly distinct, since we are separating the models, notations, or visualizations. Although we are attempting, but it is difficult to distinct. Then each influence the other in direct and indirect ways. Okay. So indirectly or in direct situation, each visualization influence each other. Okay. By this, it is the visualization we have completed. Okay. And how the visualization is different from the models. Okay.
Okay, next.
Yes, sir. Now we will proceed with the analysis.
This is most important.
It is one and another important part of the your software architecture part. Now after visualization, we'll go for the analysis part. Okay. Just a minute, we are starting it. It's a wrong one. Just a minute, sir. Initially, it is taking time to upload.
Boys, please make note in your residence. Please make note. Otherwise, this will just move out tangentially. What is pull base? What is push base? Make a difference. Go through some other literature. Whatever Debobhaya tells is never, never, never sufficient. You have to read something extra. It is a PG program. He will tell you only 1%. Rest 99% you have to read extra. So please make a note and make a comparison for everything. How UML is different from others, how rapid is different, how write is different. You have to make a difference. So please make a note. Until unless you take interest, you won't learn anything. Debobhaya only tells 1%. The rest 99 you have to give effort for yourself, for your knowledge. Everything is available in Google Scholar. You have to read much more extra. Much more extra.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead.
We'll continue with the analysis of software architecture. Again, some noise are coming. Someone please mute. Someone's noise is coming. Okay, what is an architectural analysis? This is the activity of discovering the important system properties using the system's architectural models. Okay. Now, the early and useful answers, it's about the relevant architectural aspects. It is available prior to systems construction. Means you are going for an analysis, means you should have some prior, it will be available prior to your construction. And you should have to know that which questions to ask, why to ask them, how to ask them, how to ensure that that is ensured, or sorry, that is answered properly. You should have the answers for it. Then informal architectural models analysis. Just like in the lunar lander, we have the three components: a user interface, calculation, and data store. The data store will store the height, their velocity, the fuel, and the time for simulation. Then it will take the burn rate and calculate the new height, velocity, and fuel level from the calculation component. Once it is calculated, it will take it from there and store. It helps the architect to get the clarification from the system customers. It helps the managers to ensure the project scope, and it is not as useful to developers. So it is more helpful to the managers, rather not as useful to developers. So now in the formal architectural model and analysis, the component user interface will take the values and calculate. It will do the computation, and the connector rule is again a caller or calling. Okay. Now it is again as compared with a lunar lander. It helps the architects to determine the component composability. Okay, how to compose the composability. Sorry, how to compose the components, that will help us to determine. Then it helps to developers with implementation level decisions. It helps with locating and selecting some appropriate off-the-shelf components. It helps with automated code generation, not as useful for discussions with non-technical stakeholders. Okay. So these are the analysis you have to perform and how it is helpful for the model. Now it concerns relevant to architectural analysis. Their goal of analysis, the scope of analysis, their primary architectural concern being analyzed, their level of formality of architectural models, the type of analysis, the level of automation, the system stakeholders that is interested in analysis. So these are two very relevant to the architectural analysis: the goal, the scope, the architectural concern, the level of formality, what are the types, the level of automation, and the system stakeholders. Now, the architectural goal analysis. These four C's are very much important. Completeness. How complete your architecture is. Then consistency. How consistent it is. How the viewpoints of the architectures are consistent. Then the compatibility. How much compatible it is with your requirement. Then up to what much it is error free. That is correctness. So these are the four C's are the main analysis goals. Then first one, the architectural analysis goals. Completeness. The completeness is both an external as well as an internal. It is an external with respect to the system requirements, challenged by the complexity of large systems, requirements and architectures, challenged by the many notations used to capture complex requirements as well as architectures. It is internal with respect to the architectural intent and modeling notations. So it is both external as well as internal. External for the outside requirement of the large systems and internal for the modeling notations. Okay.
Because
Yes, sir. Sir, one call came. If your call came, then internet will be disconnected. That's it. I'm just disconnected it. Okay. So this is the external as well as the internal call. External means it will just analyze the outside requirement or for any large system. Internal goal means for the modeling notations. It has all the elements that is fully been modeled in the notations, have all design decisions been properly captured. You have to ensure how all the design decisions are properly captured or the model is fully or properly given the notations. Then architectural analysis goals. Consistency. Consistency, it is an internal property of an architectural model. Okay. It ensures that different model elements don't contradict one another. That's why it is consistent. Means it should not contradict with each other. Then the dimensions of architectural consistency means their name, the interface, their behaviors, their interactions and refinements. These parameters, these elements must not be contradicted with others. So this should be distinct. Then only you can say it is consistent. Again, some noises are coming. Please mute. Some students. Sir. Okay. So only then we can say it is consistent when these elements or these parameters will be distinct. Now the name consistency. For the components and the connector names, it should be consistent. Means their names should not be similar. Two components should not have the same exact name. Otherwise, it will be inconsistent. The component service names. It may be non-trivial to establish at the names. Loose coupling via publish, subscribe, or any asynchronous event broadcast. Dynamically adaptable architectures. Okay. Next. Interface consistency. It covers or encompasses many name consistencies. First one is the name consistency, here the interface consistency. Means these should be distinct. Also it involves some parameters that is listed in component services. A rich spectrum of choices at the architectural level. Example, it matching with provided and required interface. First one, the request interface or any required interface. The next one is the provided interface 1. The next one is the provided interface 2. So this should be uniquely, this interface should be given a unique name to it. Otherwise, it will be inconsistent. Next one, the behavioral consistency. The names and interface of interacting components may match, but behaviors need not. Name and interface, they may match. If in worst case, it should not be. If they will not match, then we can say it is consistent. If still it is matching, then the behaviors must not match. Example, a subtract. Subtract integer x and y. That returns an integer. Okay. So this value will not match with the other values. If you will go for any subtraction, means integer x means and integer y means the subtract will give the exact same value. That is the behavior. Subtract means it will just subtract one integer to another. So it should not match. Can you be sure that the subtraction operation does? That is the queue client pre-condition by giving some post condition. Okay. And queue server components. When we sure that the subtract operation doing it properly, then queue client and queue servers are used for it. Then a interaction consistency, name, interface and behaviors of interacting components may match. Again, here it is saying, yet they may still be unable to interact properly. Okay. All the previous three may match, but they may still be unable to interact properly, like the queue client and queue server components. Here, the components empty, filling and full. Full is a complete version, empty means enqueue it and dequeue it. Enqueue, dequeue are the two functions that is performed in the interaction consistency here. And one is filling. Filling means enqueue means adding the size, dequeue means decreasing the size of the queue. Then the refinement consistency. The architectural models are refined during the design process. A relationship must be maintained between higher as well as in the lower levels. All elements are preserved in the lower level model. All design decisions are preserved in the lower level model. No new design decisions violate the existing design decisions. So these are the refinement consistency. Okay, it is associated with your analysis. Here you see the file system that is associated with the memory manager, the network interface and the process scheduler, and the inter-process communication that is communicated with the process scheduler and memory manager. So it will be just a minute. It will be interacted during the design process. It will be properly refined. All the components here. A relationship should have been properly maintained with the lower level models. Means here what it is saying, now all should be maintained in the lower level properly. Their initializations, their libraries, the CPU values, the application process, all will be maintained properly for the refinement process or refinement consistency. Then the architectural analysis goals compatibility. Compatibility is an external property of an architectural model. It ensures that the architectural model adheres to guidelines and constraints of any style, a reference architecture and an architectural standard. Okay, it is a constraint of a style, a reference architecture and an architectural standard. Okay, now the architectural compatibility with an event bus connector. All are asynchronous. Here, all will be with a compatibility manner. The spacecraft, the clock, the graphical user interface and the game logic. All are component asynchronous but still compatible. Means once they will send a request to any other component, it does not mean that in a concurrent mode it will be delivered to the other component, but it can be delivered in a asynchronous manner to maintain the compatibility in between the components through the event-based connector. Then the architectural analysis goals. Next one is the correctness. Okay. The correctness is an external property of an architectural model that ensures the architectural model that is fully realizes a system specification. Means it will ensure that the architectural model is fully designed according to the system specification. The system's implementations are fully realizes the architecture. The inclusion of the self elements impacts the correctness. Means if what much error is there or any, it is decreasing the accuracy or improving the accuracy, it is impacting according to the inclusion of the cell elements. The system may include the structure elements, the functionality, and the non-functional properties that are not part of the architecture. The notion of fulfillment is key to ensuring architectural correctness. The main idea is to fulfill the architectural correctness. And ultimately, we have to increase the accuracy of your architecture and making it error-free. Then there is scope of architectural analysis. First, component and connector level. Then the subsystem and the system level. And it should be aware of the honey-baked ham syndrome. That is a error that makes to your system. You can check in your internet, honey-baked ham syndrome. That will affect your system badly. Then data exchanged in a system or subsystem with the data structure, their data flow, the properties of data exchange should be there. The architectures at different abstraction levels, and again at last the comparison of two or more architectures with the processing, with the data, with interaction, configuration, and the non-functional properties, NFPs. Okay, next. Data exchange examples. How to data exchange? Through the multicast connector. Multicast connector means this connector will connect to many relations. Okay, producer, it will producer have the data frequency of 1 Mbps with the multiple connectors, consumer 1 and consumer 2, where the data frequency is 2 Mbps for consumer 1 and data frequency for consumer 2 is 500 kbps. Okay, with the multicast connector, if data exchange will be performed, then the consumer 1 will get it faster because he has a larger bandwidth with it. Then architecture at different levels. C1, C2, C3, C4 are the 4 components. Okay, they are interconnected with each other. And here you can check the label C11, C12, C21, C13, C14, C22 are in the different labels and their interconnections. Means this is the level of abstraction of the architectural components that are available here. Then the architectural concern being analyzed. It is with the structural characteristics, behavioral characteristics, interaction characteristics, and non-functional characteristics. These are the 4 parameters to be analyzed with your architectural constructs or architectural aspects.
Deba, some net problem. Deba, Deba. Hello.
So he's disconnected, I think. So he's here, but
He stays in a small town, maybe he has some
Yes, sir.
problem.
Just
Okay.
still I am
Deba,
coming on. Yes, sir.
you, mm, net is giving problem. Anyway, how many slides are there?
Only 6. Just finishing, sir, right now.
Okay, okay. That is it. Then I will make a joke on honey baked ham syndrome. Okay, I'll make
Yes,
some
sir.
joke.
Yes, sir. Just sir, six slides I will finish right now.
Okay.
Just now we are discussing about the architectural constants we are analyzing with the structural characteristics, behavioral characteristics, interaction characteristics, and non-functional characteristics. Then the level of formality, informal models, semi-formal models, and formal models. Okay. Then type of analysis, static analysis, the dynamic analysis, and something scenario-driven analysis. You have to take the decision whether you have to move with the static analysis or any dynamic analysis. Now, the level of automation, whether it is manual or partial automated or fully automated. So you have to consider for the manually you will maintain it, or partially automated or any fully automated. Then analysis stakeholders, for the stakeholders in the architectural analysis. Who are the stakeholders? This is the architects who is giving the architecture for any model, the developers who is developing, and managers who are managing, and the customers who are purchasing, and the vendors who are selling for it. So these are the stakeholders of any architectural analysis. And the entire slide is here in a single nutshell. Means the entire all the things inside a single nutshell. The architectural analysis with the goals, scopes, concerns, model, types, automation, and stakeholders. All that if you will practice this slide, if you will keep in your mind, then you will cover the entire PPT for the today's this chapter. The goals, the completeness and consistency. In the consistency, what type of consistency? Name, interface, behavior, interaction, and refinement. The compatibility goal, the correctness goal, and what are the scopes? The component and connector level, subsystem and system level scope, data exchange in between the producer and consumer, the different abstraction labels between the components like C1, C2, C3, C4, C5, and C11, C22, like that. Architectural comparison between all the architectures. Then the concerns, if it is a structural, behavioral, or any interaction or non-functional, all the concerns of any architectural analysis. Then the model, if the model is informal or the model is semi-formal or formal. Then types, if it is a static, dynamic, or any scenario driven types. Scenario driven means you have to take the decision if you have to do with the static condition or with the dynamic condition. Then the automation level, manual, partial automated, or automated. Then who are the stakeholders? Architects, developers, managers, customers, and vendors. Okay. So this is the last slide of the architectural analysis, and in the next class we will again further continue with that analysis part of it. So this
Okay.
this chapter,
Yeah.
yes,
This chapter got over. Chapter 13.
yes, chapter 13
13.
got over. Yes.
Okay. So why we have gone through all these architectures? Because our goal, our scope, our concerns, our models, everything are taken care to develop a software in a systematic manner. So you need to make a justification for every diagram, every text, every scope, every goal. Why we are going for this? What type of model it is, formal or informal? So this chapter helps you to make an analysis of the architecture model what you develop. We develop different models, and with the help of the models we develop the software, we develop the architecture. And if you remember that turbine model, in the present day scenario, architecture plays the most vital role. If architecture is decided properly, it is a PDD, principal decision on design. PDD, Principal Design Decision. If you decide the decisions which are the principal ones correctly, then only based on that your implementation will be correct, and if implementation is correct, then testing will be smooth. Otherwise, there will be lot of problem with the testing, and they will identify a lot of problem with the implementation. Then the implementation people will put a lot of blame on the architecture analysis and design. So for every action, we need to justify. So this analysis helps us to justify up to what extent we are proceeding in a right direction. Okay? Okay, I am closing it now. Next class, I will tell the story of what is that? Baking the ham. Baking honey with ham or something like that, right? What is that syndrome? There is a company in Georgia, USA. They
Sir,
sell
honey baked ham.
honey bagged ham. There is a company who sell ham in USA. They have a big craze for meat of ham. And the company that honey bagged ham at Georgia, so Georgia is a state in USA. They sell the company. They sell the company that honey bagged ham. That company sells that type of ham. So what is that syndrome? I'll tell about tomorrow. I have got another meeting now, so I am also leaving. So I'll tell it tomorrow. You also go through that. What is that syndrome? I will ask you. If you go through something, I will tell you something, then it becomes a big fun. Okay? So we'll talk tomorrow, day after tomorrow, that is on Monday, 4:15 p.m. Okay? Honey bagged ham. Ham is a kind of meat. They take it. They means the US people take it. And US election, you know, a lot of problem going on in US election. That's the present day news. Trump is going to lose, but he's making a lot of noise. So we don't know what is going to happen. So we'll talk on Monday. Okay, bye students. Bye students. We are quitting. We are leaving. We'll meet on Monday. So Debo, take the attendance. Debo.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All are present. 17 or 15 are present. So Asutosh, how about your health? Asutosh not joined, na? Asutosh?
No, sir, Astos not joined.
Asutosh not joined. Rekaj not joined. Rekaj is also sick.
Yes, sir. Asutosh,
Sir,
Rekha, Asim.
Yes. Rekaj
so most
Asim.
probably Rikaz is going to like COVID. He's suffering from, I think he's have a COVID symptoms.
So many boys. Rekaj, Asutosh, and Dalmia. Dalmia, have you joined?
Shibam Dalme absent.
Dalmia is also absent. Bhagavan. It's creating problems. In some of the cases, it becomes very much difficult. Out of 100, 10 people become serious. And out of 10, 1 to 2, either one in some case, in some case 2 cases, they become very, very serious and they land in trouble. And sometimes death comes to them. So you have to be very, very serious when you have slightest problem. You should not take it lightly. Make test 2-3 times. If you have little bit of suspicion, do the testing. There is no problem in making number of tests. That antigen test where they make the test through the nose. So do the testing. Don't get complacent. Oh, yesterday I had done the testing, today I am free. No. At any point of time, the virus may attack. So you have done the testing, and if yesterday and today you feel bad, please do the testing. Please do the testing and start medication. 1% delay from the beginning stage creates big problem later on. The lungs get infected and it doesn't respond to the medicine. So the slightest problem, whoever is having, please take care from the very beginning. Our state NIT is very careful for you. NIT Jaipur has started opening from 17th of November. But we are not opening because if you stay here together, if one boy gets infected, then the problem gets spread. So we are not opening for the MTech boys, where there is large chunk of boys joined together in the mess, in the hostel. So we are not opening in the month of November, but NIT Jaipur, they are opening from 17th of November, this month. But we are not opening. I am very, like me, all the teachers are very careful for the health of the students. So we do not want to invite you and stay here together. We don't want. So we are watching and we'll see. We have a big meeting on 13th. We'll discuss and we may plan something in the month of December, but not in the month of November. But my advice is, as Shibham Dalmia you saw, his father came in contact with some people, then Shibham Dalmia got infected, Dalmia's mother, Dalmia's younger brother, all got infected. So ask your father or ask anybody, for the sake of business, people are going outside, but please restrict them to meet other people where there is 1% suspicion. Of course, you do not know where there is some amount of suspicion. It's very difficult to know. Still then you have to be careful. Only your carefulness will protect you. Otherwise, very difficult. Young boys and girls are getting infected. Very young boys and girls. And life becomes very difficult even for the young boys and girls. So don't think that people who are above 65 or 70, they get into trouble. No. Even young boys and girls are getting infection. So you have to be very careful, my dear boys. Do inhalation, steam inhalation and gargling every day a must. And restrict your parents or younger brothers or anybody not to move out, not to meet anybody where there is 1% suspicion. So you have to take little bit safety measure, then only this problem will continue till coming April. Till coming April, problem will continue till the vaccine comes. So you have to be careful, very careful. Nobody will guide you. You are two elder boys now, so you have to protect yourself. You never know how the infection comes. You never know. You assume that a person is perfect, but he has some asymptomatic problem. That means he is perfect, but he is able to spread the disease to others. So you have to protect yourself. Don't mix with anybody. I get scared about Shibham Dalmia. Whole family is infected. So please, my dear children, take care, be careful and protect yourself. We are reading because it will give you some input to extend your knowledge. Otherwise, you will be killing time at home. So that's why the colleges are providing these online classes. Okay, my dear boys, I am quitting. Deva, all are present, leave it. So 5 are absent, you got to know.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, my dear boys, we will be meeting on Monday. Bye.